Ladies and gentlemen, the situation is serious. Very, very serious. The West can't believe it anymore. What just happened today? In Russia, across the entire national territory, and more specifically in Moscow, on Red Square, the parade taking place there? No. This has just pushed Western countries to make new decisions. Yes, and above all, the parade taking place in St. Petersburg, the Immortal Regiment March. That really affected them. The West has just imposed a new set of sanctions against Russia. And as if all that weren't enough, the West has just announced, especially the European Union, a colossal sum that the European Union will soon allocate to Ukraine to enable Ukraine to be strong, to be in good shape, because what they saw today, they consider it a humiliation. So Ukraine really needs to be in a position of strength, because if Ukraine fails, it is in fact the West that has failed. Russia will celebrate that later. As if all that weren't enough, Volodymyr Zelensky, for his part, is taking a stand. He is imposing sanctions on several entities linked to Russian defense. And as if all that still weren't enough, the United Kingdom, as you know, the United Kingdom has just unveiled its package of sanctions targeting entities and Russian warships. And also, as if all this weren't enough, Emmanuel Macron and the United Kingdom have just made a new decision. So, world news has been so interesting over the past 24 hours that I ask you to stay tuned, to follow along with me, and especially to share our video conferences as much as possible. Share them in all your groups. When you give a lot of likes, it gives the video conference much more visibility. That's what it's all about. Let's dive deeper, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go deeper. Where should we start? Let's start with Volodymyr Zelensky. No, let's begin first with the West's lamentations. Westerners are lamenting through the newspaper, Le Monde. You can go take a look. You'll see. In the newspaper Le Monde, the Westerners are crying. They say this. They say that more than 20 foreign leaders attended the celebrations in Russia, marking the 80th anniversary of Russia's victory over Nazi Germany. It continues by saying, crowned by a grand military parade on Red Square, this diplomatic ballet took place despite Western attempts to isolate Vladimir Putin and warnings from Ukraine, which has called any and all foreign participation a show of support for the aggressor state. Period. These are the West's initial lamentations. Westerners say that Russia was stubborn and the parade on Red Square went ahead. It was a success. More than how many? More than 20 foreign leaders attended despite the West's attempts to isolate Vladimir Putin, despite Ukraine's warnings that any foreign leader who participates will be considered as associating with the aggressor countries. They say, but despite all that, it didn't work. Maranatha, it means that Putin is strong. So that already means Putin is not isolated. This celebration boom shows that Putin is not isolated at all. No, the man is not isolated. And that's what hurts them. And the worst part is that they managed to celebrate their victory in the most beautiful way on two levels. Because Putin had said that we are celebrating the victory of our ancestors. And we are also celebrating the victory of the special military operation. Please share this video conference with me. Share it. Share it as much as possible. Yes. So, on the other side, the European Union, for its part, is making such a big deal. The European Union is angry. The European Union announces the payment of 1 billion euros to Kiev's arms industry. 1 billion euros. They're going to pay that. Yes, 1 billion euros. So, it's the head of European diplomacy, Kadia Skalas. We know her. She's a woman with a shaved head who absolutely refuses to hear anything about Vladimir Putin. It was on May 9th that she made the announcement. She announced the payment of 1 billion euros in support of the Ukrainian defense industry. And the French Minister of Foreign Affairs, for his part, announced that Paris would use part of the revenue from frozen Russian assets to ensure the maintenance of Caesar cannons. They're really worked up. They don't know who to turn to anymore. They don't know what to do anymore. As if the 1 billion they're giving isn't enough. They have to add more sanctions on top of it. I'm telling you, they're very upset. Share this video conference. Yes, I want to see a lot of sharing, a lot of sharing. As long as we don't get tired of bringing you information here, you too shouldn't get tired of sharing. That's it. So, on the other side, what is Zelensky doing? It looks like they held an emergency meeting, huh? Zelensky is imposing new sanctions against 58 individuals and 74 entities linked to Russian defense. Yes, 58 individuals and 74 entities linked to Russian defense. According to official information, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has imposed new sanctions against 58 individuals and 74 entities. It was yesterday that he began making this decision, and its enforcement took effect today. So among the entities are 67 and 67 Russian companies, as well as 3 Iranian companies. We are aware of the relationship between Iran and Russia, and 3 companies that are from Uzbekistan, originating from Uzbekistan, and 1 from Hong Kong. So notably on the list of targeted individuals is the name of the artist and poet Vadim Tizganov, who publicly supported Russia's actions in Ukraine. Now, here is what Volodymyr Zelensky is doing on his side. But on the other side, a final sanction was imposed by the United Kingdom. A sanction that is also very, very severe. The United Kingdom has unveiled its most significant sanctions plan. That is to say, beyond this sanctions plan, there are no further sanctions plans. The United Kingdom rolled out this sanctions plan on May 9th, targeting the Russian oil shadow fleet. So, the Russian oil shadow fleet is targeted by these sanctions. Among the ships, among the vessels targeted by the UK sanctions, there are 100 ships. There are 100 ships that have transported goods worth more than $24 billion since the beginning of 2024. So these are ships that bring money into Russia. So they are going to sanction these ships. We don't know what these sanctions will actually achieve. The list also includes 9 legal entities and individuals connected to Russia. This is, for now, the immediate reaction from the West. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is starting to get very interesting, but I ask you to share the video conference. That's what motivates me and gives me courage. I want to thank everyone who is already sharing our video conferences. Thank you. You see, thanks to your shares, our community on this platform is growing. Thank you very much. I'll be back with more news for you shortly. This was the voice of your